I'm sure it's very unlikely it will ever happen, but shouldn't TNA make the move from the United States to the UK? The crowd was full, they were definitely with the show, brought the right reaction to the heel, to the face, to the show, and this show was alive. It felt the way TNA should be. But back in the Impact Zone, the amount of complaints fans give it and the amount of fans that are not there is really sad for the company. I'm going to save talking about the opener to the main event because it all links up. But the first match of the night was Velvet Sky and Madison Rayne defeating Gail Kim and Lady Tapper. This match was appalling. I'm sorry. You've got, yes, Sky and Rayne back together like the glory days of TNA, but Gail Kim, probably your best knockout you've got, the best diva at the same time. And her match was not spectacular, not enough to put Gail Kim over or make her look decent in this match. You get a quick win for Velvet Sky and Madison Rayne. Lady Tapper, she's just there. But I couldn't compliment that match. Then you get the Velvet Sky dumping Chris Sabin. It's about time because you didn't really get the continuation of the possible relationship with Austin Aries, which might be the way to go, but using knockouts as potential girlfriends is not really what we watch TNA for, is it? In the past, maybe you'd have watched the Knockouts Divas be managers to help the wrestler be put over and win matches, but now some of us watch the Knockouts or the Divas for wrestling. So I like the fact she's away from Chris Sabin. If they wanted the Austin Aries storyline to continue, shouldn't he have came out and walked away with Velvet Sky? There are many people on the internet who are judging Gunner. I feel that is partly TNA's fault because for a large period of time, Gunner really weren't getting the focus. He was always the side character. So for him now to go into a tag team with James Storm, into a feud with James Storm, and then becoming a #1 contender for the TNA World Heavyweight Championship, I think TNA are trying to give Gunner a chance. So shouldn't we be doing the same? Like in this part of TNA, we had this whole Gunner and Storm talking about their friendship, their relationship, and moving to forgiving each other so they can continue being side by side, watching each other's backs. And then you get Kaz and Daniels coming up. This is where it gets a bit. Are they expecting to use other wrestlers to help the motivation and the moving of Gunner? Because Kaz and Daniels make this tag team where whoever pins either James Storm or Gunner becomes the #1 contender for Gunner's briefcase. Could be a hint that eventually someone's going to take that briefcase off him, but I see it as a way of putting obstacles in Gunner's way for him to go through these different names to hopefully have more people take him seriously. Or maybe this is a gradually build up to Storm once again turning against Gunner. I don't know how they're doing this, and many people could bash this storyline or idea going into TNA, but if it's going to give Gunner a chance, build him up, I'm going to say let's just see how he performs in the ring against a future TNA World Champion. The fact they're moving away from Joseph Parks or moving away from Joseph Parks / Abyss and Eric Young, I think is a really good thing. The Abyss character, I feel if it was back to the way he used to be, or at least a monster once again, the younger talent, the newer talent, having to go through him, have some really big matches that prove that the younger new talent can overcome the obstacles of a monster would be beneficial. And this week we got the sign of the moving forward of Storyline and Abyss as we get a tag match. Abyss and Eric Young versus Bromans. And I was really hoping for two things. Like I said, the continuation of Abyss moving away and Bromans just getting destroyed. And that I got both. Bromans get beaten down, the ref gets attacked, and then he turns his attention to take out Eric Young. Brilliant. Loved it. And then Eric Young did the unexpected. He requested a Monsters Ball match against Abyss for next week. And I thought, yes, it's not the two right people to be in a Monsters Ball, but anything to break the tag team up, anything to bring back Abyss the Monster, I'd accept. So next week, I'm just hoping for a massive beatdown from Abyss to Eric Young, and then for Abyss to go on and prove he's the monster again. So TNA, I thank you for giving me Abyss back. Do not spoil it. Talking about monsters, Sam Shaw, the creepy stalker for Chrissy Hem. As much as I thought the video package, the story there was absolutely brilliant, very creepy indeed, I'm just wondering, what is the reason behind Sam Shaw? He's going to obviously eventually come back to the ring, but what are they building him up towards? That part is the thing that's going to keep me interested in Sam Shaw. The video packages, yes, something to look forward to each week. But his future as a wrestler, that's another question. Even though the feud is only happening because of the stupid Ace and Eights, I'm really liking the way that the TNA have emphasized or shown the feud and hatred between Buddy Ray and Anderson. Tonight on Impact, we had Buddy Ray with a coffin. I was expecting the whole going to church, the burial of the Ace and Eights was eventually going to come down to a buried alive, an inferno match, a casket match, one of the three possible choices. And the fact we're now getting, thanks to the mic work between Buddy Ray and Anderson, a casket match. And when the question came, Buddy Ray, once you've put me into the casket, what are you going to do? I thought he was going to say, set it on fire. Because with the gasoline thing, I really expected the fire to come into this. But no, it's all about the family. The family are playing some role in this feud. So at Lockdown, I'm expecting Anderson's family to be at ringside to watch Anderson finally get the win over Buddy Ray, the pay-per-view win to finish the feud. Or is there going to be more to this? But I just thought the way this was done, it's got me to want to watch it. It's a great match. But at the same time, the casket was something special to the Undertaker character in WWE. But pushing that back to a side, it's fit into the story really well, I think. So for this feud, this match, this should be the roundup point that I'm looking forward to. I felt there was enough to get us invested in the main event. We had the match made where either Angle or Joe could become the number one contender. We could have either had EC3 or Magnus having the chance to get both men fired. We get to see the relationship between EC3 and Magnus not being there and the possible face turn for EC3. We have the news that Dixie and Magnus are working together to release the old names of TNA so the new names can step in. We have Rude announcing that he wants nothing to do with Dixie until he gets his promised rematch, which I'm guessing could happen on a TV show before the pay-per-view to get that out the way. Rockstar the Lion Spud standing up to the wolves as he tries to find out who the investor is, only to get laid out after he slaps Davey Richards. Not a good idea at all, but it was definitely an entertaining segment. We get video packages of Kurt Angle and Samoa Joe to really build up that this could be their last match and all the accomplishments they've got before this match. I felt they did a really good job at building up the main event. The sad thing is though, when it came to the match, the investor storyline overpowered it. We had the commentators talking about it non-stop. video package of the investor getting up the limo, interrupting the match. And yes, we get the result that Samoa Joe made Magnus tap out, so we got our #1 contendership match made. But the match didn't feel as important at the end of the show. It was more about the investor. And the investor just happened to be MVP. Ballin'! And yes, he's in a suit, back to the old better than live kind of character. But how do you feel about MVP being the investor, the guy who could come in as a possible general manager of the show? It's a new guy coming into the company, which many people praise to happen. But MVP to be up there with Dixie Carter, I guess it beats Sting coming back in that role, Hogan coming back in that role. Now they're finished. But MVP, let's just hope he can get the ball rolling.